Welcome in, everyone, to Lively Lewis Stories.
That's right, we're back with even more awesome adventures with Levi and Ivy.
Set your storytime meter to fun and get ready to join the Lively Lewis crew.
All you need is your imagination and...
Off we go! I can't wait to see where our story takes us today.
Have you ever wanted to get more Lively Lewis in your life?
Well, we've got you covered.
Grab an adult and zoom over to livelylewisshop.com.
Or just click on the link in our show notes.
Enough about that. Let's get to today's super Lively Lewis story.
Mom, have you seen Dad? Called out Levi as he ran into the house. He said he was going to take me to the store to get some new soccer cleats. I think he's still in the office, answered Levi's mom as Ivy ran into the kitchen too. Mom, have you seen Dad? Ivy asked. He said he was going to fix my dollhouse. The elevator won't work and my dolls need to get to the pool on the 3rd floor. Wow, that does seem like a big problem, Ivy. Your dad is working right now, said Ivy's mom. But he promised, said Ivy and Levi at the same time, sounding very disappointed. He's always busy lately, added Levi. Yeah, I feel like we haven't seen him in a week, said Ivy. And when we do, he seems tired and unhappy. I know, replied Levi and Ivy's mom. He's just been really busy lately with work. He has a lot going on right now, but I know more than anything he wishes he could be with us. We just have to be patient. His work schedule should be slowing down in the next week or so. Levi and Ivy understood what their mom was saying, but it didn't make them miss their dad any less or feel any less disappointed when he failed to keep his promises. They felt bad for their dad and knew there must be something they could do to help him out. They had both been learning about self-care at school, and they felt that maybe that's what their dad needed. They ran out to their treehouse, and with the information they had learned at school, started to put together a plan. Once they were done, they ran back inside and told their mom what they were going to do. That is so nice of you, said Levi and Ivy's mom. I know your dad will really appreciate it, but I'm just not sure when the best time is for you to go in and talk with him. I say the longer we wait, the more into his work he'll get, said Levi. We should just go in now. I agree. There's no better time than right now as far as I'm concerned, added Ivy as they both turned and walked toward their dad's office. Their mom didn't know if it would work the way they wanted it to, but she was willing to let them try. She also wanted her husband to stop working so much, take better care of himself, and spend more time with the family, like he wanted. Good luck, Levi and Ivy's mom whispered as she watched her kids disappear down the hall. She was ready to let Levi and Ivy work on this project and hoped for the best. But little did she know, she would be called in to help sooner than later. As they walked towards their dad's office door, Levi and Ivy went over the different self-care topics they were going to go over with him, very confident that this would be exactly the help he needed, and he would be back to good in no time, working only some of the day and having more time to spend with his family. As they stood outside his office door, they looked at each other one last time before knocking 3 times. They knew their dad was inside. They could hear him talking on the phone. However, he didn't respond. So once again, they knocked on the door. But this time, they didn't wait for a response. Instead, they pushed open the door and walked inside. That's when they saw just how bad their dad's work situation had gotten. There in a dimly lit office sat Levi and Ivy's dad with his back turned to them. The only light beside a little sunlight coming in through a window was the glow of both his computer and his laptop. The screens were filled with open tabs and files, each needing his attention. But since Levi and Ivy needed his attention too, they decided to carry on with their plan. Their dad continued to talk on his cell phone and put his hand up to let him know that he needed just another minute. They waited patiently, and once he ended his call, they asked if he had some time for them. He said yes quickly, but as he was listening, his eyes never turned away from his laptop and computer. Hey, Levi and Ivy, I'm really sorry I've been working so much, but I have so much that needs to get done, said their dad. I know I'm supposed to take Ivy to buy soccer cleats and for her dolls and fix Levi's elevator. Levi and Ivy looked at each other and giggled as their dad confused the things that they each wanted him to do. Well, something like that, said Levi with a smile. We know you're busy and aren't here to ask for your help. We're actually here to help you, added Ivy. Levi and Ivy's dad stopped what he was doing and slowly began to turn around in his chair. He was so touched that his kids had thought of him and were there to help. But it was as he turned to face them that Levi and Ivy realized maybe they were too late. Ah! screamed Levi and Ivy, staring at their dad in front of them. What? What's wrong? He asked, not sure what would cause them to react that way. Dad, it's your face, said Levi. Wow, thanks, buddy. I know I've been working a lot, but I can't look that bad, replied Levi's dad. And your arms? And your hands? Added Ivy. You're gray! Mom, come in here, quick! Called out Levi as his dad stood up and looked in the mirror he had on his office wall. What do you mean? I look perfectly normal, said their dad. Maybe a little tired, and sure, I've had better hair days, but I'm not gray. Oh my gosh, Levi. He can't see what we see, said Ivy to her brother. It's just like we learned about in school when we were studying self-care, replied Levi. Sometimes the person in need of help can't notice it themselves. I'm so glad we came in when we did. Just then, Levi and Ivy's mom walked into the office and couldn't believe her eyes. She knew by looking at her husband exactly why she was called into the room. Oh no! What's going on? Asked Levi and Ivy's mom. We think we know, said Ivy as she told her mom to sit down. Dad is gray because he's exhausted. He's not full of color and life like he usually is because he's been working too hard and not taking care of himself. Yeah, added Levi. He's overworked and he needs to take a break and concentrate on his own self-care so he could become himself again. At that point, Levi and Ivy's dad was looking more and more confused as everyone in the room was saying he was completely gray. So if I'm gray, like you're saying, why can't I see it? Asked their dad. Because you're focused on your work that you can't see anything else, replied Levi. You need to focus on you, and fast. We miss you and we want to see you happy again. Levi and Ivy's dad managed a little smile and gave his kids a big hug. He was so grateful that they were there to help. So first, you need to turn off your computer and your laptop, said Ivy. And your phone, added Levi and Ivy's mom. You need to focus completely on yourself. Yes, and by doing that, you will be able to give attention to all the things in your life, not just your work, said Levi, putting his hand on his dad's shoulder and leading him over to the couch to sit down. After Levi and Ivy's dad hesitantly turned off all his electronic devices, he took a seat and waited for more instructions. Okay, I'm willing to listen and do whatever it takes to get back to a good balance between my work and home life, started Levi and Ivy's dad. I really do miss being with all of you and feeling energized. I can't thank you enough for stepping in to help. We love you, Dad, and we'll do whatever it takes to help you out, said Ivy. She and Levi then went on to tell their dad a little bit about what they learned at school about self-care and how important it is to look after yourself. The first thing they asked their dad to do was simply close his eyes. Hey, friends, do you think we can do this with Ivy and Levi's dad? Okay, close your eyes. And just that simple act seemed to make him so relaxed. After long days and even longer nights working on projects in the last few weeks, Levi and Ivy's dad really felt a sense of calm by just closing his eyes for a moment. All right, what's next? We have our eyes closed. Everyone's eyes are closed. Now breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, said Levi and Ivy as they went to get something from the kitchen. Did you do it, friends? Let's do it together. Great job. If you want to do a couple more, that's great. It's a really good way to make our bodies calm down. When she got back, she was holding a large glass of water. Now open your eyes and drink this water, instructed Ivy. Yes, the whole thing. We've been noticing that you don't drink enough water, and that can make you feel really sluggish and tired. Your body and your mind need water to function properly. So if you have a glass of water near you, let's take a big drink of water. Good job. All right, let's see what else we got to do. Levi and Ivy's dad smiled as he slowly drank his water and continued to breathe slowly, resting his mind and body. Ivy was also holding something else in her hand, a shiny red apple. Dad, you also need to make sure you're eating throughout the day, started Levi as he picked up some trash from his dad's desk. And it can't just be chips and candy. That's right. You need to eat things like fruits and vegetables, added Ivy. Wow, I can't believe you two are telling me to eat better, laughed Levi and Ivy's dad. Didn't you win an ice cream eating contest last week after dinner, Levi? Well, you can have treats here and there, just not all the time, responded Levi. You need to feed your body with things that it needs to work at its best. As their dad ate his apple, Levi and Ivy went on to tell him how they had also learned in school that meditation and good sleeping habits are important to self-care. They also told him that self-care isn't all about being quiet and resting, but it's also about taking time away from stressful situations, like work, to be active and do something you love, like playing soccer or painting. As he sat there, Levi and Ivy's dad listened to everything they had to say with an open mind and an open heart. Hanging out with you two and Mom is something I really love doing and something I should have made time for these last few weeks, said their dad. I know that now, and I will be sure to put that at the top of my to-do list every day moving forward. Everyone was so happy to hear that, but they also wanted to let their dad know that they understood that he worked hard to provide for the family and sometimes he would just be busy. But when that happens, instead of trying to do it all, he should ask for help. You know, you can always ask me to help you out too, said Levi and Ivy's mom. I'd be happy to take Levi to get his soccer cleats or help Ivy fix her dollhouse elevator. I know, it's just I love doing those things, and I thought I'd have time to do it all, replied Levi and Ivy's dad. Also, I know how busy you are, and I didn't want to add one more thing on your schedule. However, now I know that we're all here to help each other, and I'll definitely reach out if I get overwhelmed at work again. Everyone was so happy with how their talk was going that they almost didn't notice something extremely important. What do you think they noticed? Levi? Began Ivy. Look at Dad. Oh no, what's wrong? Am I even grayer? Do I look like an elephant now? He asked, running over to the mirror. No, quite the opposite, answered Levi. You're back to your old self again. No more gray. And even though Levi and Ivy's dad didn't see himself as gray when he looked in the mirror before, he could see now that his smile looked bigger, his cheeks rosier, and his eyes brighter. He looked happier and more relaxed than he had in a long time and couldn't wait to share the rest of the day with his family, who he had been missing so much. I feel great, and it is all thanks to you, said Levi and Ivy's dad as he hugged his kids and his wife. I say we head out for some ice cream and then tackle all those promises I made you guys this week. So for the rest of the afternoon, Levi, Ivy, and their dad and their mom turned off all their screens and just had some much-needed family time. Levi and Ivy's dad remembered every word his kids had told them about self-care and tried his best to practice all the skills they taught him. And thankfully for everyone, he was never gray again. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the story and learned a little something too.
And since we know everyone has their own story, we'd love to hear yours.
If you have an idea for a Lively Lewis story, leave a comment on our Apple Podcast review page with 5 stars, your idea, and your little one's name.
Then maybe our next adventure will be with you.
Until our next Storytime Hangout.
Thanks for listening. We can't wait to share another fun Lively Lewis story with you.